Hello, Year 2, Miss Buckley here. Welcome to your final English lesson of this week. It is Friday, the 29th of January, and I am really excited about English today because you are going to be using your fact file to do something very exciting. So before we even begin the lesson, I'm going to ask you to make sure that you've got your two pieces of work with you that you did on Wednesday and Thursday. So you're going to need your first three subheadings from Wednesday and your second three subheadings from yesterday. You're going to need those in front of you to help with today's lesson. Okay, so go and grab those, pause the video, and then we will make a start. Okay, in today's lesson, we are going to have a really big focus on our handwriting. And as writers, we must focus on how neat and legible our handwriting is. And that word legible just means that other people can read it and understand it. And do you know what? Because we are authors and we write things all the time, it's really important that when we've completed a piece of writing, that we can write it up neatly and beautifully for others to read. In today's lesson, we are going to focus on our handwriting, and we're going to use our fact file from this week and we're going to copy it up onto some neat paper. But whilst we do that, we are going to be focusing on what our letter formation looks like. Letter formation just means how we write our letters, and that's what we're going to be thinking about today, because we're going to imagine that we are publishing our writing. When an author writes a book, they'll send it to a special person to publish it, the publishers, and what the publisher will do is make it into a book, and that's what we're going to do with our piece of writing. We're not going to make it into a book, but we're going to publish it. We're going to make sure it's beautiful and neat and that others can read it and we can really show it off. Now, I would like us to warm up, and the first thing that I would like you to do is to stand up in the space that you're working in. You might want to stand behind your chair, you might want to just push your chair out and stand up. And I want you to have a really good stretch of your body. Stretch right up, stretch right down to the floor, and give yourselves a wiggle from the top to the bottom. Now what I would like you to do is this. I would like you to use really big arm movements to trace out the letters of the alphabet. And in case you've forgotten, I've put the alphabet on the screen, but I'm sure we've remembered that. And what I want you to do, boys and girls, is stand up in a space, and I want you to use your arm to trace the letters of the alphabet. I've just done A and B. I want you to do that job first for me. Pause the video, and if you want, you could sing an alphabet song, or you could sing the alphabet rap if you know it. And I want you to, with your arms, write the alphabet for me. Stretching out, off you go. Pause the video now. Okay, hopefully you feel a little bit warmed up now, especially for our writing. So what I would like you to do for the second part of our warm-up is I would like you to sit down at your table and get yourself comfortable. Now what I want you to do is take the hand that you write with again, and I want you to trace the letters of the alphabet, but this time I want you to just use your pointer finger. And I would like you to trace out in the air every letter of the alphabet and think about the movements that your finger is making. Pause the video and carry on. Okay, now when we are getting ready to write, there are some things that we must do. We must sit ourselves comfortably. We must sit in a comfortable position. Because if you do not have the correct position and posture to do your writing, your handwriting would never be neat. And here is a little rhyme that you can say to help you remember to sit comfortably. 1, 2, paper towards you. 3, 4, feet on the floor. 5, 6, chair legs like sticks, they're still. 7, 8, back up straight. 9, 10, pick up your pen or your pencil, whatever you're using to write with. So that's a little rhyme that you could use to remember how to sit comfortably. Now, practice does make perfect, and we have to practice over and over again to become brilliant writers. Now, I'm going to ask you before we do anything, I'd like you to get some scrap paper, so not the worksheet for today if you've got the printout. I want you to just get a bit of paper. It can be scrap paper, it can have something on one side and you're just using the back of it. Get yourself some scrap paper and also get yourself a pencil or something to write with. Get yourself a pencil or something to write with. Scrap paper and a pencil or something to write with. Pause the video if you need to go and find those things. Now, when we're writing, we must have our pencil in the correct position. So what I've done is I've put 3 steps on the board just in case you need a reminder of how you should be picking up your pen or your pencil. If you put your pen or your pencil on the table towards you, so the bit that you write with is facing you, you should be able to hold that bit, nip the end of the pencil or pen, and then flip it over and have a good grip so that you're ready to write. So have it facing you, nip the end, flip it over so it sits in this little chair of your hand there, it sits comfortably in its seat, and then you will be ready to write. Okay, my thumb is bent, pointer points to the tip, middle finger on its side. I tuck my last 2 fingers in and I'll take it for a ride. So your fingers should be in the correct position now to write. Now sometimes you might find it more comfortable to hold your pen or pencil in a different way that's not this one, and that's okay if you need to do that, but this is just the correct pencil grip that I would be teaching you to have. But if you feel comfortable holding your pencil in a little bit of a different position, that's okay too. Now, we always say with our handwriting that our tummies should be near the table and our bottoms should be to the backs of our chairs. Our tummies shouldn't be so close to the table that it hurts us, but we should be quite close to the table and we should be quite comfortable. Now, I am going to, on my whiteboard, I'm going to draw a pattern and I want you to copy it because we're warming up our handwriting hands. Now, I'm holding my pen correctly. I had it facing me, I've nipped it, I've gripped it and I've flipped it, so my hand is ready to write. I'm going to create some patterns on my scrap paper and I'm going to start with a U shape and I'm going to draw myself a line of those shapes, just like that. And then once I've done a line of those, I'm going to do it the other way around. A little bit like lots of M's or N's joined together. Because what I'm trying to do is warm up my handwriting hand. Now what I'm going to do is an O shape. Because lots of letters have a curly caterpillar. Lots of letters move around first. Now what I'm going to do are some straight lines, just to warm up my handwriting hand. Now yours will probably be much neater than mine because I'm sat in a very awkward position. I'm not sat how I'm telling you to sit because there's not enough room at my desk. But you should have some shapes that are really, really similar. Pause the video here and you could actually have a go at doing some other shapes. You could draw some letter S's as well, just to warm up your handwriting. Maybe you want to draw some lines that are this way, because all you're doing here for this activity doesn't have to be perfect. It's just warming up your hand and getting it into the rhythm of writing. Pause the video and be a little bit creative with some of the patterns that you shape now, that you make. Let's warm up our writing hand. The final thing that I would like you guys to do is on your scrap piece of paper, I would like you to write the long date for me. And the long date is on the screen right now. It's Friday, the 29th of January, 2021. So I'm going to start with the letter F. And I know the letter F is a tall letter. It's an ascender, it touches the top red line. I'm going to write the date so neatly. And if I'm not happy with one of my letters, I might rub it out and fix it. Because I need to make sure my writing is nice and neat. On your scrap bit of paper, write the long date for me, and hopefully your handwriting hands, your hands for writing, will be all warmed up and ready for its job. This is your main activity for today. You're going to take a look at your plan from Wednesday and Thursday, your fact file, and you are going to write it out in your neatest writing on the special worksheet that I've provided for you on Teams. Now, if you can't print it out, that's okay. You can use some lined paper and you can still write it in your neatest writing, because I would actually really like some for display. Even though some of us are learning at home and working at home, I'd still like to print out some of our amazing writing. So I could do that from the pictures that you send to me, and it must be nice and neat. The worksheet that I've provided on Teams looks like this. So all you will have to do is use those lines to copy out your information about your superhero as neatly as possible. Now today, nobody should be stuck, because all you are doing is copying your plan from Wednesday and Thursday onto the writing sheet beautifully and neatly. Okay, so at the top it says all about, and then there's a line. So I would write all about Victorious Violet, and I would do that in my neatest ever handwriting, and I would copy the rest of my ideas out. Now, boys and girls, if we were doing this in the classroom, and we absolutely would be at the end of our piece of writing, if we were doing this in the classroom, I would probably play some nice, calm music for you, so that whilst you were writing, you could really be concentrating on that job. You might want to do this yourself. Maybe if you've got a grown-up who could help you find some relaxing music, maybe on YouTube, and you could have some time now to copy out your piece of work in a nice, calm way. I'd actually really like to see some photographs of you guys writing it out and practicing your handwriting. I cannot wait to see what your fact files look like as published pieces of work, as finished and polished pieces of writing in your neatest ever handwriting, just like we would in the classroom. I'm so excited to see them. I know that Miss Thompson will be so excited to see them. Best of luck. I can't wait to see what you do, and we'll see you very soon.